Welcome to Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. Today, very brief review to be honest, because I've got the new Jaeger NTX from Haenel. This is a 3006 model and I've only got it for 3 days, so I've got some written reviews, some range work and some actual use in the field to hopefully get in and see how it handles and how it's used. So please stick with us and watch and let's see how we get on with it. This one is in 3006. It's a 510mm barrel which is 20 inches and the twist rate is 1 in 11 inches. The magazine is a polymer unit, it's a twin column and it's very easy to load. It'll take 5 rounds plus 1 in the chamber if necessary. You can also load it through the ejection port on the side into the top of the mag because they do push in the top as easily as you can see here. I've done the initial 0 on the rifle and I have to say loading, unloading, ejection is very, very smooth. The bolt travel itself is extremely smooth, so you'll probably catch that now as I'm going to shoot some groups. Bolt travel is just 110mm. Trigger pull is 600 grams or 21 ounces. Overall length is 1040mm or 41 inches. Rifle weight is 3.15 kilograms, 6.94 pounds. As you saw from the first one, there's no need for me to cycle the bolt with any great speed. It can be run slowly and it can be run quietly, but if you run it fast, it's this fast. Haenel's barrel is cold hammer forged and the weaver bases are machined as part of the steel action, so are completely secure for the life of the rifle. I like the fact you aren't forced to run it at speed and there's no problem with primary extraction from the chamber. The handle pivots here and you can carry it locked and closed like that, but the gun isn't cocked. If you click the handle forward, it then cocks it and makes the firing pin go live. If you do close it, it can't rock open like that, and there's a small button on the back which just allows you to pull the bolt open. I shall shoot the next group 150 grain SST from Hornady. This is Super Performance. It's a sporting rifle, so I'm just putting 3 round groups down. A little bit of detail on the reload. The magazine clips in easily. There's a switch at the front just to take it out, and it will drop under its own weight into your hand. Interestingly, on the catch here, you can click the catch sideways and that now locks the magazine in position if you want to. The bolt handle is 46mm long and it has a 25mm diameter polymer ball on the end to aid grip. Comb height is idealised for the iron sights, so it's a little bit low for a scope, but you can always add a cheek razor to the rifle. Muzzle velocity averaged out at 2,920 feet per second for 2,840 foot-pounds. You can push the bolt forward quite gently and it then won't return. You need to push the left side there and the bolt comes back. Had you pushed the bolt forward, it won't fire, but if you push the handle, click, that's like the decocker. So it's decocked, it's cocked, decocked, cocked. Now in no circumstance will the bolt accidentally open unless it's been fired. But once fired, it will do it automatically. There's no need to push any handles, and just uncock it, simply just do that again and it's back safe. If I want to open it, there we go. This is 165 grain Hornady GMX ammunition. Put a few foulers through just to make sure the barrel's nice and accustomed to this. The barrel isn't heating up at all really today. It's quite a cool day. It's only about 2 degrees air temperature, and that's Celsius. Muzzle velocity averaged out at 2,830 feet per second, which is 2,935 foot-pounds. think that shot rather nicely. If you want to top up the mag, you don't need to take it out of the gun. You can clip additional rounds in, just pop them in the top like that and clip them down. And then you're ready immediately to go. So you can carry the rifle with the bolt there. So it's closed and locked. I can't unlock it without pressing the button. But it's locked in position. All I have to do to cock the rifle is put the bolt forward like that. So decocked, cocked, decocked, cocked. And as soon as it's cocked, up we go. And it's that quick to use the rifle. The barrel is 18mm in diameter, and there's a removable thread cap with a 15x1 thread underneath. You can add a sound moderator or muzzle brake. You would obviously need to remove the foresight. That's got 2 Torx fittings and it will unscrew and lift away if you're not using the manual iron sights. The rear sight is 3 green dots with the red dot on the foresight. You get a lovely alignment through it, through the centre, and you can see easily. The fore end is stiff and solid, so there's no barrel contact. It's fully free floating, and were you to put a stud on here, there'd be no problem using that. And you do have a front sling swivel already included. The back has a similar swivel exactly, so you can add a sling to it. The action's held into the stock with twin Allen screws at front and back, 4mm key. It will release it, and those have got metal pillars inside to avoid compression. The bolt has 3 locking lugs which turn into position. There's actually a geared system within here underneath the bolt actually there, which allows it to rotate within to lock into the chamber. The face is a push feed and there are twin ejector claws on it. Extraction and injection, as you've seen on camera, has been very smooth and completely purposeful. I've no problems with that at all. Trigger's a single stage unit, very crisp, completely happy with that, and there's plenty of space in the trigger guard for gloves. You can see the stippling on the grip here, it's also on the fore end. It's subtle on the laminate stock, but it adds that tactile finish you want on a hunting rifle. The stock is a birch laminate, which is not unfamiliar to shooters, but Haenel have advertised the fact it's using far more ecologically friendly finishes and adhesives within the material. Length of pull on this rifle is notably long at 14 3/4 inches, which is about 374mm. Recoil patch is 12mm thick. It's a solid fit, nice and grippy on the shoulder. Being a 30-06, there's quite a lot of recoil in the rifle, but it's actually very well controlled. Laminate stocks do transfer recoil linearly, but there isn't much damping in them and they are quite hard and firm, so you do feel every little bit of that recoil. Unlike walnut, which seems to have a more natural harmonic capability of damping the shot, synthetics can also be set up to damp recoil, but they're generally much noisier and hollow, whereas this doesn't have any resonance to it when touched, and it does have the look of more traditional timber. Well, on this brief review of the Haenel Jaeger NXT rifle, I have to say I rather like it. Straight pull is the way forward these days, and so many manufacturers seem to be trying to do it to emulate people like Blaser, and they're not always doing the best job, because the big problem you have with a straight pull is primary extraction and bolt travel. Now the bolt travel on this is not excessive, and you can keep your head on the stock. I'm just going to check this is double clear, and I can now dry fire this and operate it. One thing I will say is that with a fair length of pull on this at 14 3/4 inches, it will suit taller shooters. I'm 5'11", 180 centimetres, about average. It's a little bit longer reach than I would personally prefer on my own rifle, but of course there's nothing stopping me having the stock shortened and the recoil pad reapplied. That's an unusual factor because so many rifles are just far too short. So I quite like the fact that Haenel have made this one with the ability to tune it to the shooter. The stock itself is totally firm, totally reliable. It's got a good reach to the trigger, nice grip position, and it's very tactile. It's warm to the touch with it being a timber, and of course you've got full control over everything. Reach to the trigger is acceptable, and trigger pull is very crisp. It doesn't advertise adjustability, but I believe it is adjustable because I have had this dismantled. Now, removing the bolt, there's a small switch on the side of the tang just here, and you essentially press that down, rotate the bolt, and it slides out like a normal rifle. Makes cleaning super easy. Well, summing up, what do I think about this Haenel NXT? Everybody gets so obsessed on rifles about how small the groups are. Well, the groups are far more down to the shooter and the ammunition consistency and suitability to the barrel than it is down to the gun itself. So don't worry too much about that on reviews. But you will see from my test targets 100 meters, the rifle shoots perfectly well enough for a hunting rifle, if not a little bit better than needed, and definitely meets the usual MOA requirement. In terms of the handling dynamic, there's a 25mm polymer tip on the bolt, and that makes it very easy to just grab and manipulate gloves or bare-handed. You drop immediately from the bolt handle onto the trigger. You're not in a thumb hole or anything like that. Thumb hole stocks are nice, but I think on a super speedy straight pull rifle, they're not necessarily as quick as you can be, because of course on a thumb hole, your thumb has to come out to the side and then go back to the bolt, whereas on a straight hand stock, you're straight onto the bolt anyway. The cocking control and everything on the back is actually far simpler to use than it would appear at first sight, because essentially all you actually ever need to do to the rifle is move the bolt handle, because here it's safe and decocked. There it's ready to fire. That is so easy to cope with. Loading and unloading are super smooth. You've seen it all on camera. The point of balance, pointability of the rifle is excellent. As I said, maybe just a tad long for me, but I rather like it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching that mini review of the Haenel NXT. Please like, please subscribe, and please comment. And please click the notification bell so you can see my new videos online every couple of weeks. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.